I'm Doug McAllister for Journey Fellowship Church, and I want to tell you a story. So we just got back from our sabbatical, and I'm telling stories from our 30-day trip. Miss Rachel and I spent most of the month in the Smoky Mountains, and I wanted to tell you stories that I'm not going to have time to tell on Sunday morning, so I thought I'd put them on the podcast. And we stayed in a little cabin for the bulk of the time that we were there. It was a one-bedroom cabin with a loft bedroom and 2 baths. It was very small, but very nice and comfortable. And man, it was just the epitome of a little tiny cabin. It was one big open floor plan. Downstairs was a living room, kitchen, dining room, all one room, with a small bedroom and a bath. And then upstairs was a loft. So you'd walk up the stairs, and the entire upstairs was one room. There was a loft bedroom with a small bathroom attached to it. So it was humble and comfortable and nice, and we spent most of our time there. But the story I want to tell you was it was a little creepy, honestly, at night because it was so dark. We drove. It's about 3 miles out of town. So if you go to Pigeon Forge, traffic light number, I think it was 6 or 7, maybe 6. Yeah, traffic light 6, Pine Mountain Road. And you go up Pine Mountain Road about 3 miles, and it's a continual climb. I mean, you were climbing the mountain on Pine Mountain Road. And the first mile or so is, moderate. And then you get to the higher points, and you get these switchbacks and these curves, these S curves, and you go around the mountain, and there's a sheer drop off on one side of looks like it's a mile deep, and it's just a little unnerving. But we kept driving, and then finally we make a right turn to go up the hill where the cabin is, and the road becomes like a one-way road, even though it's a 2-lane highway. It's only enough room for one car to pass, so you got to take turns with the people coming down. So it was quite fun going up and down the mountain every day. So we get to the top, and then our cabin. It was on a hill with about 7 other cabins on this big development, but there's a lot of space between the cabins. In fact, I couldn't even see my neighbor on either side of us. That's how far away we were. We could see their porch lights, and we can hear them but you're far away from anybody. And then you walk out onto the porch, and the cabin's built right on the overhang, so the front part of the cabin is touching the driveway and the road, but the back part of the cabin is literally hanging out over the valley. So you walk out on the porch and you can just see the full valley. I brought a picture of the sunrise. This is one morning. I'll put that picture up. This is the back porch of the cabin overlooking the valley. Every morning I'd go out there, and Miss Rachel and I would have coffee, and we would kind of greet the day. Some mornings it was cold, and others it was not so. And sometimes it was foggy, and sometimes it was beautiful, clear. But at night, it was dark and quiet. So the first night we were there is a story I want to tell you. So the first night that we were there, we go up. We were going to sleep in the downstairs bedroom, but I said, let's go try the loft. It's just, so we moved all of our stuff upstairs to the loft, and it was a king-size bed. So we get into bed, turn off the lights, and we're going to go to sleep. And Rachel went to sleep immediately. I mean, she was out within like 15 seconds. She must have been really tired. So I'm laying there, and I can't fall asleep. And then, as you probably know, a house made of wood tends to make noise at night. When the sun goes down and the wood starts cooling, the cabin starts creaking and cracking and snapping and popping. So I'm laying there. I'm awake for an hour, and the cabin is getting louder by the moment. I kept thinking, Rachel's not hearing this. She can't wake up. This is loud. First I thought, it's just the wood. It's just a cabin. Then I said, well, maybe it's squirrels. Then I thought, well, maybe it's Bigfoot. And then I thought, well, maybe this is the beginning of the zombie apocalypse because it was really, really loud. So that kind of set the tone. So every night we'd go to sleep, and we just kind of got used to the snap, crackle, and pop. It was like a bowl of Rice Krispie cereals every night. But one night, so this is like 3 or 4 nights after we're there, there's a TV hanging on the wall, and we decided, hey, let's just watch a movie. And they had a couple of apps that came with the cabin. You can log on and watch, some movies on some of the apps that they had provided. But there was a movie we wanted to see, but it was only on one of those very obscure apps. I don't know. There's a planet name. Which one is that? Is it Pluto? Yeah, it was Pluto. Almost. Yeah, it's Pluto. So we click on Pluto, but the internet was pretty spotty that night, so it was spinning. You know how it is when you click on an app and it doesn't load right away. So it started spinning. And eventually the TV kind of went dark while it was still loading. But because of that, I kind of forgot that I turned it on. And so I was reading. In fact, Rachel and I both had our phones out and we were scrolling and we were reading just stuff online on our phone. And probably 15 minutes goes by. Our bedroom's totally dark. We're hanging out over this valley in a mountain. There's nobody around us, there's no noise other than the haunted cabin that we're in. So we're reading online, and in the dark of our bedroom, at the foot of our bed, a man started whistling loud. It creeped me out. I was paralyzed. I didn't know what to do. I was just thinking, oh my gosh, somebody's in this room. And Rachel in the dark said, Doug, are you whistling? To which I said, I don't know how to whistle that tune. So I jumped out of bed. I turned on the lamp and there was nobody in the room, but the whistling was still going. And then it dawned on both of us that the Pluto app had loaded, the movie was coming on, and the lead song was a man whistling. We were so relieved that it was a movie loading and not somebody actually in the room with us whistling. But that's one of the fun nights that we had that, turned out to be not quite as scary as we thought it was initially. But anyway, that's the story I wanted to tell you today about our sabbatical. We had a great time. This is Doug McAllister for Journey Fellowship Church. Want to know more about us? Check out jf.church or download the Journey app, Journey Fellowship Church, in your app store. Download our app. I'll tell you a story next time we're together.